everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Faith and Purpose Podcast. This is season 2, episode 10. It's our grand finale, and who better than Adebisi Adebowale to grace the stage today. You know, Adebisi has been a friend of mine since college days, and she's just grown into this phenomenal entrepreneur, businesswoman. She's an international speaker, coach, and the founder of an educational world dynamic consulting firm called Upliftology. I have to make sure I say that right. She supports and strategizes with higher education institutions and organizations to improve their students' employee experience and their processes. She is referred to as the master of upliftment, and Adebisi also helps young scholars and leaders find their voice and their purpose in order to maximize the best of their potential and turn their dreams into reality. It is with so much joy that I welcome today Adebisi Adebowale. I don't want to butcher your name.
Thank you. Hi, sis. How are you?
Great. So glad to have you on the set today.
Thank you so much for having
time. Me. Yes. So let's
just
get right in. Let them know a little bit about you. You know, I talked about your business, Upliftology, just a little bit about you. And one fun fact, maybe the listeners may not know about you based on what I just said.
Oh, God. Okay. Let's think. Okay, so you said a little bit about me. I am Adebisi Adebowale, like you said. I am a native Washingtonian, born at the George Washington University Hospital, the same school that we actually attended.
Oh, beautiful.
So that's technically a fun fact, but my fun fact is I'm completely obsessed, and I think you know this, with the city of Paris. Paris is my favorite city in the entire world. I love it there. I thought I was going to be a fashion designer. God had other plans, so you know, I was obsessed with Paris for the longest time. I still am. But yeah.
Beautiful. Yes, you have to take me with you next time you travel, because she's always on the plane going somewhere. I saw
but the pandemic shifted. The pandemic shifted that all.
Where are you heading this time with the pandemic? But I know once the world opens back up.
I am running.
Yes, you're on a plane somewhere, and that kind of ties into our icebreaker, because I'm going to ask you your preferences and certain issues, right? So let's just get right into the icebreaker. Do you prefer texts or calls? Are you that kind of person? Text. Quick.
Text. My friend even one time sent me a meme that how did it say it? I will text you back. I think it was like it said me. I just gave you a call. I will text you back. Something like that. I'm like, yes, please text me.
That's perfectly okay. And are you a kind of work from home girl, or you like to be in an formal office space, like going out, dressing up, or you're okay with just turning on your TV, turning on your computer and working at your office space at home?
So it's interesting because when I was working for corporate America, I had a 3-4-5 schedule where we'll work on site, we'll travel, work on site, and the last day we'll work from home. Nice. And I know that wasn't very familiar with most people. Yeah. And I was cool with working from home, like having the balance. But during the pandemic, obviously we were all forced to work from home for the majority of that time.
Yeah.
And then when I got the opportunity to come back to my co-sharing space for my business, I ran. I'm absolutely obsessed with WeWork. I love it here. It is one of the best office spaces ever, but I like the balance. So I do sometimes have to work at home, but I am like, let's get up and go to the office.
Exactly.
I don't like to have that all the spaces shared. I like to have,
your space. Vision. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And do you prefer tea or coffee?
Tea.
I feel like it's going to be tea because you're a European girl. Yeah. The European party.
I can't stand the smell of coffee, even though so every once in a while I'll just drink it because I'm like, okay, but coffee's supposed to be like an energy booster. With all this energy, I don't need coffee in my system.
You have a lot of energy.
Naturally caffeinated.
Oh, beautiful. And I know the answer to this, but I'm still going to ask you, do you prefer a quiet staycation or international vacation?
International, wherever the plane can take me, let's go. I do not like to stay put. I think the pandemic has forced, this is the longest I've been in the States as an adult. I've been here for 2 years, and I'm like, Lord, it's literally been 2 years. Last time I was out of the country, it was October 2019. I'm ready to go.
Oh, that is beautiful because I feel like people who travel international have a different perspective to life, understanding of different cultures. It's just different versus and again, preferences. But again, I feel like your exposure, has helped build your business, help build your brand and who you are as a person. So I'm all for international travel. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for indulging us in that Q&A session.
Of course.
Again, the purpose of this, the title of this episode is Building a Business with Purpose. And, I talked a little bit about your business and how you're very intentional and how you built it and you help so many college students. But just wanted to get and dive into your journey and your story. What prompted you to start this business? How did it come about? To share with the listeners and with the audience.
Well, yeah, so I had the fortunate opportunity to attend and graduate the George Washington University debt-free 2 times over with both my bachelor's and my master's. And when I did graduate from my master's, came back home and started going to church with my sister, my eldest sister. And the people at her church, the parents at her church, got to learn that somehow, some way. I don't even know how that came out.
Yeah.
But they would ask if I could help their children do the same. They don't know the college application process. They don't want their children to get into tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. So they would ask me to help them do the same. And, I would here and there. But slowly but surely, it started to become more and more people who would ask me to do that. And then I learned that this can become a business model. So I did just that. Creating my second business, Upliftology, after my first one, Adebisi, which was an African accessories company.
Yes.
But as God would have it, I told you I thought I was going to be a fashion designer. As God would have it, He made this the forefront and the forerunner of my businesses. So that's become my main focus, and helping students graduate school debt free. And to date, most of our scholars have earned over $7 million for their education. So
that is amazing.
We're grateful, but we're looking to supernaturally explode that to help more students do the same.
That is so beautiful. Look at the exponential impact on young lives and, the dollar amount, 7 million. That is so inspiring. And I like every business, what challenges did you face when you decided to set up this? You're saying it's a second business. You could even use examples from your first business, the accessory line. What challenges did you face and how did you overcome them? Because you're here standing strong year after year. A lot of people find the entrepreneurial journey so hard because, you're having to pull together your books and pull together resources and all of that. And it takes tenacity, and zeal to keep a business afloat year over year. So just tell us a little bit about, what it took to get that started.
Absolutely. It definitely is. It's frustrating. It can get sloppy on the back end. And I don't want to mislead people thinking that it's always rosy. Heck no. 90% of the time is confusion. And then we get the 10% to make it all work. I'll even say 20% just to be nice. It's like, okay, good. This is the golden moment. Let's make this shine.
Yeah.
And then get back to the hustle. But it's literally nothing but the grace of God that keeps me coming back, because like I stated, I thought I was going to be a fashion designer. I thought I was going to be living in Paris upon graduation. I was so ready to go back after undergraduate. But God just completely shifted that and, slowly but surely took me away from it. Not to hate it, but to see it in different opportunities and see it in different light. Yeah. And I had a conversation, I think it was last summer, but I will never forget. Whenever it was, I will never forget, with my mom, whom you know. My mom talks about you all the time, by the way.
Your mom's the sweetest.
My mom speaks about you all the time. She said, I'm so proud of her. She wrote so many books. But I was speaking with my mom and I said, I don't know why God has me doing education. I'm not a teacher. I want to do fashion. I was just lamenting to her. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And she said, where I come from, fashion is great. Everyone wants to look nice. Everyone wants to be, the person with everyone's eyes on them. It's great to look and present yourself well. But she said, but education sets people free.
Wow.
I said, say less. Don't say anything else. I'm going to leave. So you do not say anything else. So I left her there. And that honestly sits with me, that I'm in a position to help people be set free.
Yes.
I'm here to help set people free.
Wow. That's so beautiful. I have to put a tagline and a quote. Education sets people free. That is so true. And your goal is to help them graduate debt free from college,
That's the
because
goal.
then they go into the real world and at least they don't have to worry about the student loan on top of other loans, that they have to take. So that is so beautiful. And I mentioned from hearing you speak, you talked about the intersection between what you were passionate about, which is fashion, and the purpose calling you to education, and that ties into the next question. How does purpose tie into your entrepreneurial journey? Because I know you are a woman of purpose, and I know that it matters to you, to have purpose at the center of all you do. Like I was teasing you before we started this recording, you are the TV girl at church, you're passionate about helping and serving in your local church, and you're passionate about fashion and education. How do you marry all of them together and make sure that purpose is at the center of all that you do?
I keep coming back literally to the feet of Jesus. I'm a big believer of taking it one step at a time while charging forward and trying to put the pieces together, surrendering it to him.
Yeah.
Last year at almost the beginning of the pandemic, I was studying the book of Exodus. I always say studying the book of Moses. I was studying the life of Moses.
Yeah.
Studying the book of Exodus, and God just had to open my eyes to there are things in this life where we're not going to like to do it, but it's bigger and greater than us and our personal preferences. When I'm in church and I'm teaching my teens, I jokingly say to them that, Jesus didn't want to die for you. He didn't want to do it. But he did it anyway because of his love for the Father. Not my will, but his will, right? And I have to remind myself of that even though there are things that in my heart and my flesh I don't want to do, because the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, I have to do it to honor him. So I literally have to remind myself of that it's not about me. It's about God and his glory. And this is where scripture becomes true. You must die to yourself that he may be exalted.
Wow, I'm having chills. That's so beautiful, Adebisi. That is so beautiful. And hearing you speak, you just sound like a very well-rounded person. You're very grounded. So it leads me to ask, who are the key people in your life that have inspired your journey? You talked about your mom and, the beautiful quote she told you that education sets people free. Who else? I know you're very close to your sisters, but, just share how the people in your life have helped to shape the beautiful woman of purpose that you are today, and why it's so important to surround yourself with a circle of, people who can pour into you, build you up, and things like that.
Absolutely. My parents are number one. Just the mere fact that they took it upon themselves to position themselves to help their children have a completely different life than they did growing up. I often tell my friends, those of us who are first generation, that our parents came from literally a different world.
Yes, absolutely.
They came from a different world, not only time-wise, but culturally.
Yes.
And we have a dual view on what life looks like because of them. And my gratitude to them is just, my parents are absolutely amazing. I'm literally mommy and daddy's girl, little girl. I love them so very much. We fight all the time, probably daily.
It's all love.
But I love them like no other. And, I even think back to when I went full-time into entrepreneurship. My dad was like, you're so young, go back to work, go back to corporate America, get more skills. The time will come when you can be an entrepreneur. But now that I'm so even more determined to see the success of the business, he sees that passion, he sees that drive, and his prayers mean so much to me. My mom's prayers mean so much to me. As you stated, my sisters, are always there encouraging me. My family is absolutely amazing. Like, the support is no other, and I'm so grateful for their consistency and their support and love. Then I have just my sister friends and even some guy friends who, when I post things on social media, their encouragement. I'm telling you right now, the little encouragement goes a long way, because this entrepreneur journey is not beautiful. There's a reason why the average stat of people who start businesses, fail within 5 years, because the crap is hard. It's very hard.
Yeah.
Talk less of having a business that sustains your needs. When you're looking
Yes.
to hire people, you're now responsible for other people's livelihood.
Exactly.
And I think that people may forget that if they're not careful, that, it's not only about the money, it's about
Yeah.
livelihood, it's about positioning
Building
yourself
people. Yeah.
building people, supporting people. So,
Yeah.
and I think about all the other lives that are connected to my obedience in creating this company and
Yeah.
hiring people, but then also serving our clients is so much
Yes.
greater than, being here to earn money.
Wow, that's so beautiful. I'm going to digress a bit. You talked about serving the client because I'm also passionate about education. My mom is actually, I say is because she had two careers in her lifetime. She was a teacher, high school teacher for the longest time. And then, when she decided to pivot, she turned to nursing. But deep down, I'm also very passionate about education, very passionate about young adults. So how do you kind of, because communication is so different to that generation, and you talked about our parents and their generation. How do you bridge the communication gap? How do you connect with your client? What has worked for you connecting with those young people? Because I feel like you're every year young, like you're always fit, you've been able to just keep that drive, and I think people see it in you, and then it makes them want to be like you, and makes them want to. Adebisi graduated debt free. I want to do what she did. Come to you for resources. How have you been able to connect? And I see you're very active on social media, engaging the young ones because they are also on social media. But how have you been able to serve your clients using, your experiences, your passions, things like that?
It's interesting that you asked that question because sometimes it's a hit or miss, right? Where we have to strike the balance of who are we serving, who we're talking to, and there can be a language barrier, there can be a difference in mindset,
Yeah.
and goals. So for instance, a lot of parents, want their children to go to
Yeah.
these Ivy League schools.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, your child doesn't have Ivy League school grades, and we don't want to crush their spirit. So we
Yes.
want to be realistic with ourselves and understand that everything's not for everyone.
Yeah.
You have to find yourself where you fit in. So I oftentimes, when I started the business, for instance, specifically to Upliftology, when we started the business, we were speaking to the student.
Okay.
And then I quickly realized students don't care about their education. They're just trying to get it done, right?
Exactly.
But the parents care about their education. So
Exactly.
I started speaking to the parents.
That's beautiful.
But then I realized that the parents don't necessarily understand the education system because they're either so much older, they haven't been so engulfed to this level where they now need to understand the collegiate experience.
Yeah.
They're immigrants, so they don't understand the American system.
Yeah.
But then I realized, okay, we actually need to speak to both. So our business model is very, very interesting because we're B2C and B2B, but we have two customers when we talk into the B2C avenue, right? We have the parents and the students, because the parents are the ones who are going to pay for the services.
Exactly.
But the students are going to be the ones who use the services.
Exactly.
So we need them both to be on the same page. So oftentimes when I'm speaking to a student, when we have a coaching call, I'm saying that, hey, make sure your parents are there because I want to speak to them because they need to understand there's a financial aspect where they're going to be involved, where their records are going to be reviewed and scrutinized to make sure that they're getting the best for their child. So understanding that it's a mixture, it's literally striking the balance of caring for the parents' pockets and caring for the destiny of the children.
Oh, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And I love your business model, and you're conscious of the two groups and categories of customers, B2B, B2C, the two categories that you have to serve, and you meet both needs and you pull it all together. Parents are happy, students are happy, their pockets are good. That is absolutely beautiful, BC. I mean, just hearing you speak, it's so inspiring. And I know the listeners as well will be inspired by this conversation. Before we wrap up, just what are some resources you would recommend? Because again, this is helping those who want to go on the entrepreneurial journey. What resources would you recommend for people looking to start a business? How did you even begin? Did you go online? Did you register your company? What resources would you recommend?
And so that's a loaded question.
Yeah, you don't have to go so deep, but maybe one to three resources.
Okay, so let's see, 1 to 3 resources. First things first, understand that your purpose may not be your passion.
Very
That is
true.
first, and I have to remind myself of that almost every day, quite honestly, even to this day, because again, as I stated earlier, my passion is passion.
Yes, love
My
that. My
purpose,
passion is passion.
it is.
Yeah.
My purpose is to set people free through education.
Yes.
And that looks differently for many people. Some people may be educating formally, some people may be getting education non-traditionally.
Yes.
That's perfectly fine. But understanding that your purpose may not be your passion. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful if it is simultaneous and is the dual same thing, but it may not be that for everyone.
Very true.
Secondly, you do not have a business if you do not have customers.
Yes.
People are like,
I like that you're
business, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, if you don't have customers, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. And that's
I like that you're direct.
Yes, it's okay for a certain level, but realistically, when you are looking to make a livelihood from it, whether it's a side hustle or a full-time lifestyle, or you're trying to be an employer, there comes a level where you have to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to where you actually are finding customers consistently. And repeat customers, repeat clients are where the golden eggs are going to come in for your business.
Beautiful.
Thirdly, especially for people of color, of our skin color, you have to structure your business correctly. Now that looks like multiple things and multifaceted across the board, but as you asked and stated before, that includes registering your business with your local state, getting that LLC, that S Corp, that C Corp, depending on what you're looking to do. What is it now? Of course now I would be blanking on the name, but where it says sole
proprietorship.
That is not a business. It is a fictitious business name. People think that that's starting a business. No, sole proprietorship is pretty much saying that you can do business trading under another name, but it's considered a fictitious business. When you get to certain levels, you want to start looking at LLC, S Corp, or C Corp. So making sure that you're identifying the right business structure for yourself is going to be correct. To make sure that you are strategizing and strategically planning yourself to position yourself in a good manner for your business to grow. So separating yourself from the business is going to be huge in order for people to move forward in the growth of their business.
That is amazing. Just a lot of golden nuggets you just dropped here, BC. 2 more questions for you. What advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs? I know you covered it, the difference between a hobby and a business, being able to understand your passion and your purpose, and all of that. But maybe one more piece of advice you would give to aspiring entrepreneurs.
Just start. Start with starting, right?
Yes.
You have to pick a place where you're just gonna go. Perfectionism does not exist because it's literally this continuing ball of yarn where you're trying to find where it even starts. Your goal is to take the first step. You may start as a side hustler. Don't jump the gun, right? Because at the end of the day, doing this full time is literally levels. It's not something that you'll start and you'll get into and get right away.
The first time.
And I think people, they start and they think that, they're gonna make 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, and it's just like, that's not how it starts. And that's why the Bible tells us, do not despise the days of beginning.
Exactly. But you have to keep at it.
You have to keep at it. You have to keep trudging forward. If you look at the stories of Amazon, of Facebook, of Microsoft, of every great company, if you go to the origin, where they started in the garage, where they started in their bedroom, where they started in their dorm room, those stories are real, and that reality is real. Not everybody starts with the 6th floor office building. Not everybody starts with a grant, And one other thing that I often see is that people who do start business are like, there's no grants outside for anybody. There's no money for me. There's no money for you because you haven't done anything. Right? So it's important for you to actually start and show that you're doing something, that you have traction. The proof of concept is serious and it's very much so needed. So I like when entrepreneurs have traction and they're actually doing something with their business rather than saying that they have a business that's not registered.
Exactly.
they have a business that they don't have any customers in, it's important to actually get the ball rolling, and then you can grow from there.
Amazing. Beautiful advice, BC. And then lastly, how can listeners get in touch with you, follow your company, reach out to you if they have college students who, want to go to college debt-free or just need college coaching and advising?
Absolutely. I am findable. You can find me on Instagram, adebisi.co, spelled out, my full name, BOTCO, or at Upliftology, or you can go and email me, hello@upliftology.co, and they can find me there.
Beautiful. And the handles will also be listed at the bottom of this recording. So anyone who wants to follow her as well can just go on there and then reach out to BC. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you today, BC. Thank you again. I know you have a busy schedule serving these beautiful future leaders of tomorrow, and you took out time to be on the podcast. So we appreciate you, and thank you everyone for listening, for watching. Until next time, this is the Faith and Purpose Podcast. God bless you.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.